everyone! In this video, I'm going to be focusing in on the basics of hand lettering. So, if you're new to hand lettering, you're in luck. And hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll have the materials and the knowledge you need to start your own hand lettering journey. And most of all, have fun. This is by no means an extensive overview of hand lettering. I just picked a few basic principles that you can use to get started. So the first tip I'm going to share with you is practice. Practice, practice. So you can create a faux calligraphy look, or a faux brush lettering look, with the pencil. All you need to do is write a normal word in cursive, and then you can just thicken all the downstrokes. So the upstrokes are when they're moving away from you, and the downstrokes are when the lines are coming back down towards you. So if you just do that, you can really just mimic a brush pen. And if you do this with a normal pen, it'll look even better. And it's getting a little messy here, but you get the idea. So now I'm going to show you some examples of how to fake the calligraphy look. So here's the printed version that was already in this book. And this I just did with a pen. This was before I got my brush pen. So I just colored it in. They were pink guidelines. And I just colored it in. And you would never guess that it wasn't made with a brush pen. And here I did it in pencil. And as you can see, you can have the same effect with pencil. So all you really need to start practicing is a pencil, a piece of paper, and an eraser. Now that you know the basic materials for hand lettering, you can start to practice right away. There are so many different ways that you can sharpen your skills and just get used to having a pencil in hand and creating letters. One of those ways you can do that is by writing one letter in 50 different ways. So that can be a little bit challenging to come up with ideas, but the more you practice, the more ideas you'll find. I actually have never done a letter, but I have been working on one word in different ways. I've only made it up to 20, but I can give you a few examples of what it could look like. So here I've been working on writing the word beautiful in as many different ways as I can. So as you can see, I've just racked my brain for all the possible combinations I can do. But you can look up some ideas online for different styles, and you can use script. Like, there are so many different ways of writing script. You can do thick downstrokes, rounder letters, stretch them out, play with the spacing, mess with the baseline, slant them more, make blocky letters over here, thin line letters here. And I think you could come up with even more different ways to write one letter than a word, because a word, it's easy to lose motivation just because it takes so long to write it. I probably should have picked a shorter word, honestly. But that's just one idea of practicing. So I encourage you to look up other ways you can put your hand lettering into practice. My second tip for you today is you don't have to have good handwriting to hand letter. It's an artistic skill. So handwriting, you do it quickly and you have to take notes fast and you don't have time to develop your letters. and make them beautiful. Lettering is so much more than handwriting. It's actually more about drawing lines and shapes than anything else. So, if you have bad handwriting, don't worry. So moving on to the next thing I have to share with you, which is start small. You're obviously not going to be a professional the first day you start. So if you make mistakes, just go with it. For example, one letter doesn't seem very big, but it is the start. And a start is better than not starting at all. So I recommend starting to work with 10 words or less. The more words you have to work with, the more confusing and overwhelming it can seem. So if you just start with 2 words and pick 2 different styles to pair with each other, then it'll make things a lot more easy. So for example, you can just start with 2 words. Just write them down normally. And then come up with ways that you can make them stand out. So like start. Think of things that you associate with the word start in your mind and see if there's any way you can incorporate that into the design of that word. So like you could have it like start and then put some arrows. Also, a ruler is a handy thing to have, which I'm not using right now, but a ruler is a handy thing to have for hand lettering, so that when you want to draw straight lines, you don't end up with crooked ones like mine. And then for small, obviously, the obvious choice is to make the word small. So you can get some little cursive going on, and you can space it out a little bit so that it fits. So just play around with it. You don't have to have fancy styles, fancy fonts, fancy letters, or even fancy tools or brush pens. You can just start coming up with your own combinations of words. So the next thing I have to share with you, number 4, is take your time. It's really easy to rush yourself and to think that you need to do things quickly because, after all, when you write normally, you tend to write quickly. But hand lettering is an art form, and art does take time. So just slow yourself down and spend time on your upstrokes, your downstrokes, even your embellishments. Just take your time to do your best and make every little detail count. And finally, number 5.
Relax, have fun, and make mistakes.
All forms of learning involve making mistakes. So don't expect to do things perfectly the first try. So just relax, be yourself, and have fun. Well, I hope this video gave you some new insights into hand lettering. If it did, please leave a like. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching!